the echoes we carry beyond our own lives. For a long time, we've been taught that healing is about fixing ourselves. Dig into our past, figure out our wounds, but what if some of what you're healing didn't start with you? What if some of what you're carrying is an echo? When I say that, I'm not talking about blame. And I'm definitely not talking about punishment. I'm talking about the very real possibility that we inherit emotional and energetic patterns the same way we inherit eye color, nervous systems, and survival strategies. You might see it as anxiety that makes no sense given your life, financial patterns that repeat even when you know better, relationships that mirror stories you swore you wouldn't live. And at some point, the question naturally arises, is there more to healing than just my personal experience? Here's where it gets interesting. Science now talks about epigenetics, the idea that trauma and stress can leave markers that are passed down through generations. In other words, your body may remember things your mind never lived. And spiritually, mystics have been saying this forever. When we add in the idea of quantum entanglement, it starts to make even more sense. In quantum physics, entangled particles remain connected, even across distance, even across time. Change one and the other responds. Family lines work very much the same way. They're not just genetic, they're energetic systems, unprocessed grief, fear-based beliefs, survival modes that once kept someone alive but no longer serve anyone. These don't disappear. They stick, not as curses, but as unfinished stories. That's what people often call karma. Not punishment, just energy waiting to be acknowledged. So how do you know if you're carrying something ancestral? Sometimes it's obvious, but often it's subtle. It shows up as fears that feel older than you, physical symptoms no one can fully explain, beliefs you've never consciously chosen but live by anyway. Your intuition knows. It speaks through dreams, through emotional reactions that feel bigger than the moment, through that quiet inner voice that says, this doesn't feel like it started with me. And when you start listening, patterns reveal themselves. Here's the part I want to be very clear about. Ancestral clearing is not about blaming your parents or your grandparents or rewriting history. It's about compassion. Clearing doesn't mean erasing the past. It means loosening the grip it has on your present. Sometimes that looks like guided awareness. Sometimes it's intention, simply giving yourself permission to release what was never yours to carry. Forgiveness plays a role, not to excuse harm, but to free your nervous system from holding it forever. And above all, this work requires gentleness. You don't fight inherited patterns. You thank them and then let them go. Here's the beautiful part. Healing doesn't move in straight lines. When you release something in yourself, it ripples. Forward, backward, sideways, it affects future generations who will never have to carry what stops with you. And yes, it even brings relief to the lineage behind you. This is what I think of as a karmic reset. Not because you were broken, but because you were capable. You weren't given this work to suffer under it. You were given it because you could transform it. And when you choose to heal, not just for yourself, but for the line that flows through you, you become an agent of change in a story much larger than one lifetime. And that is sacred work.